If we did not know it before, we do now. The second-ranked Cardinals do not like to lose at home. After dropping just their second game all season at Jim Patterson Stadium yesterday against Duke, the Cards came back with fire today. And all that fire exploded on the Blue Devils in a very productive second inning. The Cards already had scored 3 runs with 2 outs, and no, they were not done. Brendan McKay bringing in 2 more with that hit right there. Louisville up 5-0. Later in the inning, now 6-0. How about one more run? Devin Mann taking care of business. Cards throwing up a 7 spot in the second, and that was all they needed. Lincoln Hensman closing things out in the ninth. He gets the strikeout on Jack Lebowski. Cards take it 7-5. Afterwards, head coach Dan McDonnell admitted his team was playing angry.
There was a point of emphasis to play with energy. Let's play with our edge. Let's do what we do. Let's try to win that first 3-inning segment, which we haven't. The last 2 games we lost, we didn't win that first inning or the first 3-inning segment. And so there was an emphasis to get off to a good start. And obviously we did that.
As a competitor, I mean, everybody in this dugout's a competitor. And yeah, when you lose at home, it's especially sour.
Taking it personal. Teams play again tomorrow at 12:45. From Louisville baseball, now to Louisville women's basketball. And one of the team's best players from the last couple seasons will not finish out her college career with the Cardinals. Earlier today, head coach Jeff Walz confirmed junior Mariah Moore will transfer out of the program. Walz told WDRB Moore wanted to play her senior season close to her family, who is based out west in California. Moore averaged nearly 13 points a game last season, 3rd best on the team. This past year, she became just the 27th player in program history to score over 1,000 career points. Well, switching to football, Western Kentucky head coach Mike Sanford hard at work establishing all kinds of new traditions in his first year with the program. Today's spring game, for example. Winners get steaks and seafood and eat upstairs at his home. Losers eat downstairs. We're talking hot dogs and burgers. Hey, why not a little extra incentive? Sanford, big shoes to fill after Jeff Brom went to Purdue. He's got some talent this year, though, like Devin Nixon here on the opening kickoff. Look at him go here. 90 yards to the house. This could have been set up, but you know what? You got to make a big first impression, so why not? The red team leading 7-0. To the second, the white team going to the ground game. Look at Quentin Baker here. The sophomore with moves and speed. 40 yards untouched. We're tied at 7. Later in the third, more from Baker. This guy was awesome today. 3 touchdowns for the white team, who will eat well tonight. 45-13 the final. Katie George, more from Bowling Green. All right, so the Sanford era off and running, and we are too. Straight ahead, go back to baseball. The Reds looking for revenge after coming up short last night on the Cubs. Highlights next. Yeah, thunder over Louisville. Officials weren't the only ones trying to power through the weather today. Louisville Bats also going in less than ideal conditions, trying to finish out last night's game before playing a second game later in the evening. Fans did get a good show at the ballpark, though. Baseball on the field, planes in the air. They picked it up in the 4th today with the game tied at 2. Louisville missed opportunity here. Seth Mejias-Breen striking out with 2 on to end the 7th. It remained tied at 2. Then in the 8th, Durham took control. Patrick Leonard, soft line drive. That drops. Brings in Willie Adams. Bats fall in game 1 by the final of 6-2. Now, the weather was a bit better in game 2, but the result was about the same for the Bats. A shortened 7-inning affair that saw Durham win 7-1. Barrett Aston suffered the defeat for Louisville, dropping to 0-2 this year in AAA play. The 2 teams will go at it again tomorrow. Bats will look to avoid being swept. In the majors, we've seen major improvement from the Cincinnati Reds so far this season. But against the Cubs, they've reverted back to old habits. 2 games against the World Series champs, and now 2 losses. Head out to Great American Ballpark. Cody Reed pitching for the Reds, but not pitching well. Anthony Rizzo at it again. First hitting a 3-run homer to start things off. This after a 3-run homer last night descended to extras. Rizzo, 3 homers this year. Reds would battle back, though. Bottom half of the inning, that's Joey Votto, and that, too, is a 3-run homer. We are tied at 3. Then later in the inning, Reds take the lead. Eugenio Suarez, the solo homer. He's feeling good. Suarez, plenty to dance about. He had 2 home runs today. But alas, it's not enough. More problems for Reed. Bases loaded in the second. That's Wilson Contreras. Goodbye baseball. Grand slam to put the Cubs ahead for good. They win 12-8. The Cubs, get this, have now won 20 of the last 24 against Cincinnati and are very frustrated. Brian Price.
You know, we have some guys that are starting to come around and swing the bat, and we got to find a way to pair up the quality pitching with the quality hitting, and that's the cliche. But you know, we got to put those things together to be able to get back to winning more ball games.
You got to do that. Teams will play again Sunday in Cincinnati. On to soccer, and Cincinnati is where we find Louisville City tonight. The boys in purple in town to face FC Cincinnati, their biggest rival in the league. Let's go out to Nippert Stadium, and, well, Louisville City got the start and won it tonight. Check this out. Brian Ownby on a mission through everybody and then through the net. A goal in the 20th minute, his first of the season. Lou City up 1-0. Stayed that way to the 78th minute. Bad break here for Lou City. Aiden Quinn, who used to play for Lou City last year, off the deflection. He puts that bad boy in to tie it up, and that's how this thing would end, in a tie. 1-1 the final. Lou City still unbeaten, though. 3-0-2 through 5 games this season. We'll hear more from head coach James O'Connor on the tie tomorrow. We'll also see if the Louisville Cardinals baseball team can take 2 of 3 from Duke. We'll have highlights, a reaction, and much, much more. See you back here tomorrow night.